Are you ready to transform your pool into a stunning oasis? At Mainland Pool Service, they're a family-owned business committed to keeping your pool looking pristine all year round. They believe that pool care should be proactive, not reactive, which is why their skilled team handles everything from routine cleaning to complex issues with precision. They prioritize clear communication and personalized solutions to exceed your expectations. Join the Mainland Pool Service family today and experience the difference their expertise and dedication can bring to your relaxation retreat. Contact them now at mainlandpoolservice.com.
Nate Bargatze.
Look, I say a lot of dumb stuff. I try to keep it in front of large groups. Seems to go better that way.
Big Dumb Eyes World Tour.
When you say something dumb one-on-one, it's a lot for that person. I'll say it, then I can just feel that they feel the weight of my life on their shoulders.
Tickets and info at NateBargatze.com. Don't miss the Big Dumb Eyes World Tour. Nate Bargatze.
Memphis. Monday Night Raw returns with non-stop action, unmatched energy, and the superstars you love.
We don't get mad, we get even. We don't go home till we beat them. This is our time, we're leaving. Give me the crown undefeated.
Witness the moments you'll never forget. Monday Night Raw, Memphis. Monday, February 16th. Tickets and ringsider packages on sale now.
Watching the Grizzlies is easy with FanDuel Sports Network. If you have cable or satellite, you're all set. Find us on your channel lineup. You can also use your TV provider login to watch games on the FanDuel Sports Network app. No cable or satellite? Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network online. You can also watch on Prime Video by adding a FanDuel Sports Network subscription. Not sure where to start? Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to learn more.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
Washington, didn't expect to be saying that this morning, but I'm stuck. Bennett Doyle back in Memphis, producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope everybody's doing okay back home. If I'm being honest, I'm not stuck in Spokane because of anything that's happening in Spokane. I just couldn't get back to Memphis, Tennessee, nor could I get back to New York City, so I couldn't go home. I couldn't go to work. So I'm here in Spokane, Washington, but I'm doing okay. I wonder if you guys are doing okay. I hear it's been rough a little bit. We'll get into it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes, Michael Eaves is going to join me. He, of course, is a SportsCenter host. You saw him last night on ESPN. I'm going to talk to him about a number of things, including the AFC Championship game, the NFC Championship game. They both took place yesterday. The Super Bowl is set. Congratulations to, among others, Arlington High graduate Kenneth Walker. He has advanced to the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. I'll talk to Michael Eaves about all things NFL. We're going to do it in the next segment. Finish talking to Michael Eaves. We will take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we'll discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, rough weekend for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. Got smacked at Wichita State. Things are obviously getting uncomfortable. We'll talk about uncomfortable things. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. The reason I'm in Spokane is because I was on the sideline for Gonzaga's game this weekend inside the kennel. Amazing place that's the byproduct of a pretty unbelievable story. We'll spend a few minutes on that a little later on in the show. The weekend was an all-time great Saturday for college freshmen. 3 different dudes got 40 plus. All 3 are projected first-round picks in a draft where the Grizzlies should have multiple first-round picks. So maybe it's time to start talking about that stuff. We'll do it in just a bit. Tennessee beat Alabama in basketball and then trolled the Crimson Tide's former G-Leaguer. Good social media stuff. I guess we'll laugh about that in the 3rd segment. And the Associated Press Top 25 poll, it will update in a couple of hours. We'll see if I can predict it, the top 5. We'll do that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out, and we will call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to, but I just wanted to start by asking how everybody's doing. I'm far away. I was supposed to come home yesterday. Couldn't get there because of your weather, not mine. The weather here's fine, but I know you guys are going through it. Memphis, how you doing? Bennett, how you doing? How's everything going back home?
Everything's going really good, man. I was able to get in this morning, got down here yesterday, and my car started. I'm having some electrical issues. I believe a fuse has blown or something due to this cold weather. And so my car got stuck in the garage yesterday when I got down here for Grizzlies Nuggets, and I was panicking because I didn't think I was going to be able to get into the game to like get ready for radio. But luckily the game got, at least luckily for me, the game got postponed, and so ended up being all right. The roads are pretty sketchy right now, I would say. If you don't have to drive, I wouldn't recommend it. I think they'll be a little bit better tomorrow. They're better than they were yesterday, but yeah, it was. It's been kind of a wild time. These things always like throw me for a loop. Like I don't really know what day it is. Like the kids are out of school. It's always weird when these winter weather events happen. But I say all that to say I do love the snow, man. It's beautiful to look at. I enjoy it.
It is nice to look at. It is funny. Like I was texting with Michael Eaves earlier. They've got 3 feet, I think, in Connecticut where he lives. Obviously, they deal with snow up here a lot, but not right now. But you know, when say a snowstorm hits New York City, the plows come out and it's gone before you even really see it. I mean, the snow covers the roads and the streets, and then they clean it up almost immediately, and it's back to normal. And they sort of chuckle when they hear what we go through when it comes to ice and snow. But it's like we don't have the equipment. Like we don't have the equipment to get back to normal as soon as possible. We sort of have to wait on the sun to get us there. And so, you know, it's almost like if you drove past somebody's yard and you said, hey, man, it looks like your yard. Why don't you cut your yard? And if they said, I don't have a lawnmower, I wouldn't even know where to get a lawnmower. Nobody I know has a lawnmower, so this is just the way my lawn looks. Like when it ices over and snows, like we don't have the equipment to address it, broadly speaking, so we just sort of wait for it to go away. But like your children, my children are at home right now, out of school, and we already got the email. They will not be going to school tomorrow, and you know, I'll let the decision makers make those decisions, but who knows when they'll be back in school. But we already know as of Monday morning, it ain't going to be at least till Wednesday. So good luck to all the parents out there, because I recognize that's obviously wildly disruptive too.
Yeah, for sure. I got my guy with me today because, yeah, I'm assuming school's just going to be out all week, or at least until Wednesday, like you said. Yeah, it was it's been a wild couple days, but we did get to go. So it's kind of ice. It's all ice right now. Like this isn't like the kind of snow that you would go play in, but we did Saturday get to, because it started coming in like a little bit on Saturday, and you had like mainly just snow, and then it turned to ice on Sunday. And so we were able to get to Shelby Farms and go sledding and all that stuff while it was snowing really hard, and it was like sleet and snow, and so nobody was out there, and it was pretty awesome. Like it was me, my buddy, and our kids, and like we had the whole place to ourselves, so that was really good.
Yeah, like I've seen all the videos, and some of them look like the best thing ever, and the other ones look like, oh man, that's rough. Like I've got plenty of videos from back home of my children like sledding and having the time of their lives, and then I got videos from back home of our friends who live down in Oxford, and you know, they got a tree on top of their SUV. And so, yeah, like this type of weather can be fun. It can also be devastating for a lot of families, and I know a lot of people are struggling right now, and there's going to have to be some rebuilding and a lot of stuff. So, as always, hang in there. I know it's tough. Like you noted, this weather did impact sports in multiple ways connected to us. Grizz Nuggets yesterday was postponed. Penny's Tigers, I believe, have been stuck in Wichita since they lost there this weekend.
I think they got back this morning.
They got back this morning.
I believe
so.
They
were obviously there a lot longer than they expected to be for the exact same reasons that I'm in Spokane longer than I expected to be. As of this moment, I believe Grizz Rockets is scheduled to be played at 7 tonight in Houston. We'll see. Either way, though, we do know, and I guess this is the big news from the weekend, that Ja Morant will not play. The Grizzlies announced on Saturday morning that he suffered a UCL sprain in his left elbow during that home game against the Hawks last Wednesday. I think we all saw him bump it after the game. He was asked about it. He seemed to suggest he didn't think it was a big deal. It turns out it's a bigger deal than he initially thought. He was evaluated and will now be evaluated in approximately 3 weeks. That's according to @Grizzlies PR. 3 weeks from this past Saturday, Valentine's Day, February 14th. Guys, make your reservations if you haven't already. You're running out of town. You're going to run out of time if you don't go ahead and get this done, and you're going to be trying to take your beautiful wife or whomever you're going to dinner with to like a 9:45, seating. She'll know what's up. She'll know that you waited too long. Valentine's Day is 3 weeks from this past Saturday. Get your dinner reservations made. Back to Ja Morant. The trade deadline is February 5th. So if Ja Morant is indeed traded before the trade deadline or at the trade deadline, which is what many people think will be the case, then he has played his final game in a Grizzlies uniform. Big Bet Bennett, has Ja Morant played his final game in a Grizzlies uniform?
I really don't know. I think it's probably.
I was hoping you would know.
I think it's pretty up in the air right now. Man, and if that is the case, I really hope that his final moment in a Grizzlies uniform is not him missing a potential buzzer beater against the Atlanta Hawks. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, when we got this news, you look at the calendar and okay, it's going to be past the trade deadline. So if he gets moved, that's the last time we will have seen him. It kind of seems like, I don't know, when it first got announced that when that ESPN report came out that the Grizzlies, were listening to offers, we saw like a lot of reports coming out there of who was interested, who wasn't interested. I feel like it's died down recently. Like I haven't seen much of anything lately connecting Ja to any potential other destination. So I really don't know. I think it's pretty up in the air whether he's going to be a part of this team or not post-trade deadline.
Yeah, and I know the fan base is split on it as well. I will say if you had just sort of made up your mind as a front office, we would like to move on, and there has been some reporting that suggests that. Well, it is much easier to move on while he's, sitting in street clothes again, as opposed to moving on after two really fun, back-to-back games where he was engaged and at least showing flashes of what we've seen before and what we'd always hoped we would see again. It makes it much easier to move on under these circumstances, unless, of course, it's harder to move on under these circumstances because who's going to trade for an actually injured Ja Morant? Like, perhaps it's one thing when he's coming off those, the London game and then the Hawks game, and you're like, all right, is that what this is? We're in Milwaukee and Giannis needs some help. Let's give it a shot. But if you do trade for Ja Morant right now, you have to reasonably assume he's not playing again before at least Valentine's Day, and then given his track record, how long will he be healthy once he returns to the court again? All fair questions. So perhaps whatever trade market didn't exist for him in any sort of meaningful way before this injury has been suppressed even further, and maybe that's the reason he's still a member of the franchise through the trade deadline. Because I can understand being hesitant, not wanting to give away your franchise's most popular player for nothing. And that's what it sounds like you'd be doing at this point, is just, perhaps giving him away for basically nothing. And that's not a fun thing to do. But I've sort of resigned to this, like, whatever happens, happens. And I don't know that the fan base is that way. I do believe it's split. And some people are still really passionate and intense about it. But, if you put it to a vote, I guess I'd probably try to keep him through the trade deadline if I can't get anything for him, and hope that this time is the time that everything works out. But I totally get the other side. I can't argue with the counterpoint. It's exhausting even trying to argue with the counterpoint. The counterpoint being, of course, that he rarely plays. He rarely plays basketball. He's a very expensive player who rarely plays and has often been difficult and this thing hasn't worked in a while with him on the court or without him on the court. Like in the 2023-24 season, he missed 73 of a possible 82 games in the regular season. In the 2024-25 season, he missed 32 of a possible 82 games in the regular season. This season, after tonight, he will have missed 23 of a possible 43 games in this season. Added up past 3 seasons, Ja could have appeared in 207 regular season games. After tonight, he will have only appeared in 79 of those. After tonight, he will have only appeared in 38% of the Grizzlies' regular season games over the past 3 seasons. He's almost, been a non-factor. And he's also missed games in each of the past 3 Grizzlies postseason appearances. So, how do you argue when people make those points? This whole thing stinks. I've said for years that the most important thing connected to this franchise would be for Ja Morant to be healthy and awesome and possibly the face of the NBA, like right here in Memphis, Tennessee. That is what we all wanted. It is what a lot of people reasonably thought was on tap. Like, that's where we're headed. Like, be our Patrick Mahomes. Be our Dirk. Be our Giannis. Alas, it does not appear this is going to be what we wanted it to be. It stinks that we even got to a point where we were having these conversations where we even get to a point where it's reasonable to wonder if it is actually over, if we'll never see him wear a home jersey inside FedEx Forum again. But that is where we are as of January 26, 2026, and I suppose we'll just keep wondering which way it'll go until we know for sure, or until February 5th comes and goes. Michael Eaves will join me on the other side.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball. But the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board. A class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Grizz Nation, Friday nights just got a whole lot better. Introducing Buckets and Brews, the ultimate way to tip off your weekend. Every Friday this season, grab a terrace-level ticket to the Grizz game and 2 12-ounce Miller Lights for just $55. Get great seats, cold brews, and Grizzlies basketball. It's everything you need to start your weekend off right. So get the deal that's too cold to hold. Go to grizzlies.com/Friday to lock in your tickets today.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
The long goodbye begins. A very special evening with Journey. Final Frontier Tour. Journey. Tickets are on sale now at journeymusic.com. Your chance to say goodbye to the songs that changed our lives. Journey. Final Frontier Tour.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. I'm in Spokane, Washington. Bennett Doyle is back in Memphis, Tennessee, producing the program, and Michael Eaves is up in Connecticut. He's joining me, I think, from like 3 feet of snow. Michael, let me start by asking how you doing. I saw you and Nicole last night in your comfy clothes on SportsCenter. I know you guys were keeping the Enterprise afloat up there. How are things?
It's white and cold. There's a lot of snow outside. Like we definitely got more than 2 feet. I don't know if we got 3 feet. That's kind of like the guesstimation, if you will, it feels like, but there was a lot of snow. Like that was probably like just going to work yesterday was probably some of the most snow I've ever driven through that's on the ground and falling down at the same time. Wow. Coming home was much easier, believe it or not, but it was interesting to say the least. These New England weather winters, man, they're different. I felt like we live in Buffalo all of a sudden.
Okay, so help me here. I'm in Spokane. I'm not supposed to be in Spokane. I was either supposed to be home or New York City. I couldn't get back to either, but I am scheduled to arrive at JFK around 11:30 p.m. tonight. Will I make it there?
Yeah, I think you'd be fine. Like, now that the snow has sort of died down, they can actually get to the removal aspect of it, and airports are pretty good. Like, I think you should be able to get home tonight for sure.
All right.
Or to New York tonight.
Sometimes it feels like New York is home, so it's just as familiar as my neighborhood, honestly. Let's move on to the NFL. The Patriots are back in the Super Bowl just 2 years after moving on from Bill Belichick. Drake May's the quarterback. He's only 23 years old. This is kind of a wild story, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes no sense, honestly, Gary, in a lot of regards, because Drake May won 3 of the 9 games that he started last year for the Patriots, a team that, won less than 6 games last year. They turned around this year. He won 14 of them. They got the 2 seed. Now they're going to the Super Bowl. And, oh, by the way, their coach was in the first season with the team. Granted, from some familiarity, he'd been a head coach before, but none of those combinations I just mentioned have said in the past that you can get to the Super Bowl with that. But the Patriots did it. And, look, they earned it too, right? Because they went on the road 9 times during the regular season and playoffs and won. They did not lose a road game. The only team in the history of the NFL to ever go 9-0 on the road, including the playoffs. So everything they've gotten to this point, they have earned, regardless of the thought that when the season started, they weren't even picked to win their division, let alone win their conference.
So Memphis is in Tennessee. Tennessee has the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans used to have Mike Vrabel. They pushed him out. And I saw this fact floating around social media yesterday. Since December 21st, like last month, the Patriots have won more games than the Titans have won since they fired Mike Vrabel. How should Titans fans feel right now?
They should feel some type of way for sure about the management of their team. Just overall, and it's not just the coaching staff, it's also the roster, because that's the front office. They hire coaches and they draft and trade players, right? So what they have there now is not a reflection of the coach. It's not a reflection of the players and their intent to be great. It's what's been accumulated there by that front office. And, look, I always say that, those front office positions and ownership kind of meddles in it sometimes, not to the extent of Dallas, but other owners do meddle sometimes, is your number one responsibility is talent evaluation. That's players and that is coaches. And if you don't have a good grasp of who is capable of doing things, you're going to end up in these situations. And that's exactly what's happening in Tennessee. And it's a shame because, like, for a while they had this core and foundation of what you thought could be something that could sustain for a while. But through whatever reasons and decisions, it's not that way right now. Now you look at your ex who's moved on and got remarried. That's got to make you feel some type of way.
Once both games were over yesterday, I flipped over to ESPN. Chris Berman and Booger were on, and Booger was pretty, convincing that football coaches need to get back to the point where, you can kick field goals. It's okay. Like he said, I was a part of a football team that won a 15-9 game one time. We kicked 5 field goals and we won the playoff game. That seemed to be a storyline yesterday. Is it fair? Does any coach deserve criticism for not, quote unquote, taking points when they could have yesterday?
I've long felt that in the playoffs, points are premium. and you got to get them when you can. Now, look, I understand how analytics have changed decision-making in the NFL, well, all sports for that matter. But you have to understand the thing about analytics. It's not a particular situation. It's over a long period of time, and you go percentage-wise, this is the right move. But that percentage doesn't always mean in that situation it's the right move. And in playoff games, points are premium, and if you're a team that's relying on your defense anyway, every point matters. And there's both Sean McVay and Sean Payton are probably going to be regretting some opportunities they had at certain points to just get some points on the board and then try to figure out a way after that to score again.
I saw Sean McVay in his post game. He's like, he said, I'm numb right now. I'm usually not at a loss for words. I don't really know what to say. He seemed stunned that it ended very abruptly, and he was still trying to wrap his head around what had happened. Then, of course, he's asked about Matthew Stafford. It's a totally fair question because, we might have just watched a future Hall of Famer, the soon-to-be MVP, play his final game.
See, Gary, hold on, Gary. I didn't think the question was fair.
Okay. Why?
He's got another year on his contract. He could be the MVP of this season. Okay. Why would you even think it would be his last year? He's not giving any indication to that whatsoever. So are you just assuming because he's old that he's going to step away? To me, it did feel out of place because what was the purpose of asking the question if the man still has another year on his contract? He's not Aaron Rodgers, right? Who just played on a one-year deal. Completely different situation. So I'm with Sean. I'm like, why are you asking me that right now?
You know what? That's fair. I'll accept that. I guess there's been speculation about Matthew Stafford's future for a while, and I recognize he just had this unbelievable season. But before the unbelievable season, people would, how much does he have left? How much longer does he want to do this? So from that perspective, it seemed reasonable to me, but I could accept the counterpoint for sure. Either way, let me ask you. I guess the question, you've already answered it. You don't think we've seen Matthew Stafford play his last game?
I don't think there's reason for him to step away. Okay. I think there's more reason for Aaron Rodgers to step away than there is for Matthew Stafford. Right. And I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers should step away, but if you're looking at who should or should not based on recent performances and situations, then you're like, yeah, it makes more sense for Aaron Rodgers to do it than Matthew Stafford because this dude just threw more than 40 touchdown passes this year. And again, he could be the MVP and was a few plays away from going to the Super Bowl. So his performance has not gone down at all. Now, granted, if you're as an individual, you're like, yeah, I'm good. I'm going to walk out on top. I don't need another year. That's a whole different situation. But nothing I've seen from Matthew Stafford this year would indicate to me that he's ready to walk away in terms of everything that a quarterback presents for a team and the way he carries himself, the way his teammates talk about him. I would not see him walking away. I wouldn't be shocked because people do whatever they want, but there's no reason to believe that makes sense right now.
That's fair. Let's look at the other quarterback, 28-year-old Sam Darnold. He's with his 5th NFL franchise and now, quite literally the favorite in the betting markets to be the MVP of the Super Bowl. Is there a lesson in the Sam Darnold story? And if so, what is it?
Environment matters.
Yeah.
You could be the most talented person doing something, but if you're not in the right situation, there's only so much that talent can overcome. And Sam was put in some bad positions with bad teams and bad organizations. And then once he got to a position that had the right culture, had the right assortment of talent around him, look how he flourished in Minnesota. Look how he flourished now in Seattle. And actually, I said this to him last night when we had him on SportsCenter. So much of your success is about where you start or where you are when you're trying to be successful. And for Sam, it's proven as such. He was in bad situations earlier, and all of a sudden now it becomes he can't play because he can't overcome all of these issues of this particular team when that wasn't the case at all. I've said this before, Gary. I don't root for teams or players, but I do root for stories. And Sam Darnold is a tremendous story of redemption, of perseverance, of not getting down on yourself relative to what's going on around you. And I was happy for him to be able to win that game and go to the Super Bowl. And how about this? Of that draft class he was in, right? I think there were 5 quarterbacks taken the first round of 2018. It was him, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Who else was in there? I can't remember who else. But he's the first one to reach the Super Bowl. Oh, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was in that draft class. He's the first one of that group to reach the Super Bowl. Last year or 2 years before that, you'd be like, there's no chance in hell that's going to be the case. But look how it turned out.
Incredible story. One last thing on the NFL. I know some believe running backs don't matter as much as they used to, or somewhat interchangeable. Perhaps they have a point. Either way, Kenneth Walker is Seattle's running back. He didn't set any records yesterday, but he's a local guy. He went to Arlington High here in the Memphis area, and he rushed for 1,000 yards for the NFC champions this season. He's on his way to the Super Bowl, so that's a neat story, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And here's the thing. Running backs do matter. Don't get it twisted. They may not matter the way they did 15 or 20 years ago, but they matter, and especially in situations where you have a lead, you're trying to put the game away, and you're trying to run out the clock. If you've got a guy that can get you 3.5 to 4 yards a carry, yeah, that's invaluable at the end of a game. And the way Walker has played this year, it's enabled Sam Darnold to be a better passer. It's enabled Jackson Smith and Jigba to be open more because they have a better balance than a lot of teams do. So for people saying that it's not valuable position, that's just not true. And there's been countless reminders of that through the years. Saquon Barkley, he wasn't valuable for the Eagles last year. Derrick Henry wasn't valuable for the Ravens this year, considering how often Lamar Jackson was injured, but they still had a chance to get into the playoffs and do something. So yeah, those dudes matter, and Walker's been a tremendous asset for that team.
I know this isn't the time of the year where people are focused on golf, but they did play a tournament this weekend on the PGA Tour, and surprise, surprise, Scottie Scheffler won it. It's his 20th victory on tour. He is the third fastest man to ever get to 20 wins. The only people that got there faster, Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus. His approach on 12 was just beautiful, just a beautiful golf shot. It's just, I mean, we should never take it for granted. We are watching an all-time great play at an all-time great level. What did you make of what you saw from Scottie this weekend?
He's won 4 of his last 6 PGA Tour starts, 7 of his last 13, 14 of his last 35. When we say Scottie Scheffler's doing Tiger shit, this is what we mean.
Yes.
Because you do not win at that clip on the PGA Tour unless you're Jack Nicklaus, then Tiger Woods, and now presently Scottie Scheffler. And his scorecard was so clean yesterday. He did have one bogey on the front, but his birdies were easy birdies, Gary, because he was hitting the ball so close to the hole, right? I mean, we talk about him being a ball striker. That basically means your accuracy and how good you are getting the ball where you're trying to send it. And no one in the world is better than Scottie Scheffler, and he is a good putter. So if you give him 15 7-footers, he's going to make more than half of them, right? It's just remarkable the consistency that he's been able to bring to the game. And because he's not as flamboyant as Tiger on the golf course, I don't know if we've fully appreciated it as much of what he's actually done, but the numbers don't lie. It's a ridiculous tear that he's been on. That's 14 out of the 35 is 40% win percentage. That is ridiculous in golf. It's hard to put in perspective. I mean, Tiger obviously did it at certain times during his stretch, but even Tiger was in the 30s, we're like, oh, this is incredible. Well, Scottie right now, 14 of the last 35.
Absolutely insane. Last thing before I get you out of here, I see the Kentucky hoodie. I thought your season was about to go the wrong way. I mean,
I did too.
Done. Jaden Quayton's hurt. Cam Williams, done or hurt, and they keep winning somehow. The Wildcats do. How are Kentucky fans feeling right now about where Mark Pope's got this program?
Well, let me say this, because I went to a game a couple of weeks ago, and that was in the middle of their little losing stretch, and they lost that game at home. And fans were starting to chirp a little bit because they had higher expectations. Right. And what was evident about the team is so much was dependent upon the point guard situation, and with Lowe being hurt, they just weren't going to be the same team that Kentucky expected. But I will give them credit to this degree in terms of this recent win streak. They just find a way late with some type of perseverance to pull it out when probably they shouldn't. There's been a couple games during this streak that they should not have won, quite frankly, but they did, right? So that's a testament to the fortitude of the players and also the coaching staff in terms of the position they're putting them in late in games to be able to succeed. Now, I have zero expectations for this team now because of the injuries, right? So as a fan, I'm just appreciating each and every win, probably more so than I would have based on the expectation of a full roster, right? So I think a lot of Kentucky fans have gotten to that point too. There's only so much you can do when, a couple of your top players, including your starting point guard, are done for the season. You just got to persevere, and that's what they're doing right now.
That is Michael Eaves. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Michael Eaves, catching him on SportsCenter on ESPN. Stay safe up there, buddy. I hope it cleans up, and I will talk to you again next Monday.
All right, man. Be good.
All right, brother. That's Michael Eaves from ESPN. Bennett, I want to circle back to the NFL playoffs. I know that's your favorite sport. I don't know that they were the two best games we've ever seen, but two compelling football games we saw yesterday. What'd you make of how we got to this Super Bowl that, of course, is a rematch of a pretty famous one?
I mean, just sick to my stomach over the Mike Vrabel stuff that y'all talked about.
It is crazy, man.
It's so painful.
You fired a guy who just you fired the Kurt Signetti of the NFL.
So, I saw people trying to have some copium, Titans fans, about this, and basically saying, and I hear the point, the point being that he was kind of stubborn his last two seasons there and wouldn't. They were wanting him to try to go hire an offensive coordinator that was, a little more, for lack of a better word, well-respected, around the league than guys that he was using. I don't care. I do not care. He's in the Super Bowl in his first season as the Patriots head coach. I don't want to hear it. It was such a mistake. Just one of the many mistakes that they've made over the past decade. And again, I've said this to you a million times, his quarterback was Ryan Tannehill. They got to an AFC Championship game. Ryan Tannehill hasn't been in the league since he was with the Titans. It's just, the guy's an amazing coach. So that makes me want to throw up, obviously, watching that. I thought that they were going to win that game. I thought that Denver really messed up. Sean Payton really screwed up not kicking that field goal before the snowstorm came in, because once that snow came in, it was just sloppy and just a defensive effort pretty much. So he should have taken the points there, and they might be going to a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. And then on the flip side, the Sam Darnold story is cool, man, and it's why I'm excited still about our new head coach. As depressed as I am about Mike Vrabel, it's why I'm excited about Robert Saleh, because Sam Darnold was completely written off because he was with the Jets. And I think what we're learning is you cannot write off people's careers that were with that franchise.
It certainly seems like that's the case. Sam Darnold on franchise 5, now in the Super Bowl. And with Vrabel, you can Google all the stories of personality clashes and what led to him being pushed out of the Titans franchise, despite obviously being a talented head coach. But this is a mistake ownership makes sometimes, front offices make sometimes. I've seen athletic directors make it sometimes, where you've got an employee who is obviously awesome, but also difficult in whatever way. They push back in ways you wish they wouldn't push back. They don't shake as many hands as you would like them to shake on a day-to-day basis. Whatever it is, they do that annoys you on a day-to-day basis. I wish this person would do A, B, and C, and then he'd be perfect. And then the personalities clash, and then the egos set in, and somebody gets to a point where they say, hey, listen, I'm the one who's actually in charge here, not you. And if you don't want to do it more my way, or if you don't want to listen to what I'm trying to tell you, or if you can't smile a little more when you walk into this place, well, then maybe you need to find somewhere else to be. And then this is how you go. And look up, and you know what happened? You just pushed the most talented person in your entire franchise out of your franchise. Why? Because he was a little difficult to manage? Why? Why did you do that? It is a mistake decision makers often make, or at least sometimes make. And this is a pretty great example of it blowing up on them. The Titans are still forever looking for their next great football coach. And the only reason they're having to do it is because they pushed an undeniable great one out. Maybe we didn't all properly understand how great he was in that moment, but to sit out a year, then take a Patriots job and flip it into this, absolutely incredible. Bennett, I'm sorry you're having to watch it, but, I think I remember seeing an ESPN piece where Mike Vrabel was really, really nice to Teresa Walker when he was in Nashville. And if Mike Vrabel's good, I like anybody who's nice to Teresa Walker.
She's the best.
I find myself rooting for Mike Vrabel. I think if the Patriots win a Super Bowl just 2 years after moving on from Bill Belichick, that'd be a wild story. I think that's what I'm rooting for. You don't mind? Do you mind me rooting for that? Are you rooting against it?
No, not really. I mean, if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't really care. I mean, I said before these championship games, this is setting up to be a very mid Super Bowl. It just is. Like, all 4 of those teams that were playing yesterday have had success in recent memory, and so it's like, I'm more of the person that likes to root for, like, the underdog story, you know, a team that's never done it before trying to get over the hump. So, I'm not super excited about it. I mean, it's the Super Bowl, so I'm going to be plugged in and watch, but it's going to be harder to get fired up for this one, in my opinion.
I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind. I'm going to determine who I will be rooting for. I'm going to determine who I align with later in the calendar, because I think I could talk myself into a few different things. There's the Mike Vrabel story. I like the idea of him being pushed out of Nashville and being like, I'll show you, and now he's showing them. So I sort of dig that. The Drake May story, like, I don't know Drake May, but I covered his brother playing college basketball at North Carolina. Do you know this?
No, I had no clue.
His brother hit one of the most famous college basketball shots in FedEx Forum history.
What?
His brother's Luke May, who played at North Carolina and hit the game winner against Kentucky inside FedEx Forum.
That's crazy. That is insane, actually. I did not make the connection there at all, because I remember that, obviously.
They look just alike. Like, they look just alike.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, like the Luke May hit a shot in FedEx Forum, one of the famous college basketball shots in recent NCAA tournaments. So I kind of like that. But then on the other side, you've got the Kenneth Walker story. He's a local guy, going to be starting at running back in the Super Bowl. Yeah, but does he claim us? I gotta do some digging there and make sure that he claims us before we can, like, rally around that story. Well, he's a local area product. We can claim him. But remember once upon a time we tried to claim David Johnson from the Arizona Cardinals? Do you remember that? He was having an amazing run, and everyone was like, "Oh yeah, he's a local guy." And it was like, I don't think he really, like, claims Memphis. I have no recollection of trying to claim David Johnson. I think we did for a minute. You might have. I don't remember doing that, but you might have. I will. I'll claim Kenneth Walker whether he wants to be claimed. He's a Memphis area product. I'm rooting for him whether he cares. I like Kenneth Walker, yeah. And then I do a week I've done for years now, a weekly spot during college basketball season in Seattle. So, I've got radio friends in Seattle, and I'm sure they'd like to see the Seahawks do this. So I'm a little conflicted here, but I'm going to have to circle back with you before I can publicly announce my allegiance. We've got time. In the next Super Bowl. But yeah, you're right. We got time. It will be Patriots and Seahawks with, I think, Seattle. They opened last night as a 4.5-point favorite. Again, Sam Darnold, the favorite in the betting markets to be the MVP with his 5th franchise at the age of 28. When we come back, turn our attention to college basketball. It was not a good weekend for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. They went to Wichita State. They got beat bad, and then they got stuck there. We'll dive in next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Now that's the new edition way.
I feel like there's another level we can take it to.
What you think, Mike?
2 steps ahead of you, Slick.
What's good, bro?
What you doing, man?
I'm in.
Woman, you don't even know what I'm getting ready to ask you.
Here's the vision. All 3 of us on the same stage every night.
Gonna be crazy.
No barriers, no separation.
It'll be like 9 kings and a queen.
The next level starts now.
I want to give Jock Landale some freaking love, bro. The dude been balling out of his mind.
Jock's a good player. Jock Landale's been great for the Grizzlies. He has just been, in his own words, Miscast.
Yeah, but this has been the best career.
If he's your backup 5, he has been just. I mean, and even thrown into a situation that he wasn't expecting to be thrown into. Yeah. He has been outstanding.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
It was a rough weekend for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. They went to Wichita State, and they got smacked around pretty good. Oh, buddy. Final score, 74-59. Shockers on top. Tigers are on a 2-game losing streak, 9-10 overall, 4-3 in the American, down to 104th at Ken Palm. And still, according to Jason Munns, beat writer, Commercial Appeal, stuck in Wichita, not scheduled to arrive back in Memphis till around 7:30 p.m. tonight. Bennett, what are we going to do?
I know. I spoke out of turn. I was looking at I saw Parth's tweet that it says that their flight has been delayed again until at least this afternoon. So, yeah, they are still stuck in Wichita. I mean, it was rough. They came into the game underdogs. They got taken out of it pretty early. I think that this season is what it is at this point. I'm not even sure that they're going to, at this point, I wonder if they're even going to be able to be a top 4 seed and have one of those first round buys in the conference tournament. I don't even know. That was something that just seemed like a foregone conclusion. Of course they're going to get that. I don't even know at this point because they can't win on the road. So it's not a good season. It is not a good season.
It's a rough deal that will possibly lead to some tough decisions having to be made. I wrote a column last week. We talked about it for the Daily Helmsman, my old campus newspaper, in which I explained with about 1,500 words how, there are a lot of problems with Tiger basketball right now. But the biggest is conference affiliation. It is the way the American has deteriorated into a really bad men's basketball league with no comparable basketball programs to what Memphis has traditionally been. And until that changes in a positive way, I'm not sure anybody, as the Memphis basketball coach, could get Memphis basketball back to where it was not too long ago. The dynamics of that league and college basketball have changed so much that on some level I feel sorry for Penny Hardaway, because what he was able to do earlier in his career, enroll multiple number 1 ranked recruiting classes, is quite literally impossible to do at the University of Memphis now. Players do not want to play in this league. It is an awful men's basketball league. And Memphis has gone from playing in a basketball league where you could recruit number 1 recruiting classes to one where P.J. Haggerty's like, you know what, I'm just going to go to Kansas State. That's where we're at. And so if you're trying to come up with the biggest reason why Memphis basketball has torpedoed to where it is right now, I genuinely believe that's the reason. The league has fallen apart around Memphis, and the sport has changed in a dramatic way at the exact same time, and that has been a recipe that's been hard for the Tigers to overcome. But let me be clear. There is no excuse to be 7th in this league. None, ever. Memphis still has resources dramatically better than any other school in the American when it comes to men's basketball. Facilities, recruiting budget, the way they spent on their roster, the amount of money, all of it. Memphis has every advantage over every other men's basketball program in this league. Every advantage. And it should never lose 2 games in a row in this league, never get smacked by a whatever Wichita State team in this league, or be sitting at 7th place on January 26th. I pointed all of that out in the column. I just didn't spend many words on that because I didn't want to be invited to write for my campus newspaper for the first time in 30 years and deliver a Penny Hardaway's gotta go column. Like, that would have just felt weird, honestly. Like, so what you just, what? You just decided to write for the campus newspaper at the age of 48 just to say Penny Hardaway needs to go? Why? Like, it just, that would have been the takeaway, and I didn't want that to be the takeaway. So, but I did point out in the column, like, he's not doing a good job right now. There's no getting around that. And so when anybody points that out, I'm not arguing with you. I will argue with you if you suggest the Penny problem is the biggest problem. It's not. The American Conference is the biggest problem. But yes, right now they also have a Penny Hardaway problem. And I'm not going to make any grand statements about what needs to be done, but this is not okay. And I think everybody knows that, Penny included. Tiger basketball should not be where it is right now, and it cannot stay here. It is too valuable of an asset to that university, to that athletic department, for it to be struggling in this way. And our hope has always been that Penny would be the guy that got it right. But if he can't be or isn't, then that has to be addressed at some point. It must be addressed at some point. Here's the truth. I've said this before. I say this with no enthusiasm, no energy, no joy. I'm just speaking factually. If his name weren't Penny Hardaway, this would have been over already, probably years ago. That's the truth. He has made it to this point because he is all of our favorite alum. He is undeniably the most important athlete to ever come out of that building, that campus, our city. And that gives you some wiggle room, some leeway, some patience, as it should. But we are getting to a point where this is not good. Everybody knows it, and I hate that we're here.
I mean, I think that he should absolutely be given a chance to right the ship. He was just in the NCAA tournament last year. I know that ended disappointingly, but they got there. They won the conference tournament and won the conference outright. So I think he absolutely should be given a chance to right the ship and see if he can get a different, better, more exciting roster in here. I do think, too, it's easier, GP, now. Like, we have always put this on the coaches, right? Like, and rightfully, like, the coaches are running the show in college basketball. Like, it's why, like, when TV stations are promoting games, they're like, you see the pictures of the coaches a lot of times, right? Like, they're the head of the snake. But with this new era of college basketball, too, like, these guys are getting paid a lot of money. Like, I'm looking at this box score from yesterday, and some of these guys that are, scoring single digits against Wichita State, it's like, dude, come on, man. You're getting paid. Like, I don't want to call anybody out by name, but it's like, dude, you're getting paid a lot of money to be here, and you don't even show up in the game. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. I said this to you last week. I mean, this is a hard team to get behind. I think a lot of that is on the players.
Fine, but let me ask you a question from an honest place. You answer it however you see fit. When Chandler Parsons signs a contract with the Grizzlies and sucks, who do Grizzlies fans yell at? Him, sure, but also
the front office for getting it wrong.
That's right. Here we are. Like there is somebody who is employed by the University of Memphis that Penny Hardaway selected who played a role in building this roster. Penny Hardaway played a role in building this roster.
Sure.
Whatever players you got, they are the players you got. You know, like if Arizona is awesome, that's a credit to Tommy Lloyd. If Nebraska is amazing, that's a credit to Freddie Hoiberg. If the Tigers stink, that's a Penny Hardaway problem, particularly when you stink to this degree. Memphis was picked first in the American. As bad as this roster might be, as dysfunctional as everything might be, coaches and media and all the computers, or at least most of the computers, evaluated this stuff the way they evaluate everything in the preseason. And you know what they said? That's the best team in the American. Is that the best Memphis team we've ever seen? No, not even close. Is it the best Penny Hardaway team we've ever seen? I don't think so. But is it the best team in this shitty conference? Yeah, should be. And it's just not.
No, you're right. It should be.
And it's just not, and that's a problem. That if you want me to badmouth Aaron Bradshaw with you, I'll do it. But somebody decided to pay Aaron Bradshaw to come here and play basketball a lot of money after he sucked at Kentucky and sucked at Ohio State. So, that's the job. You got to be. All of this is part of the job. Evaluation, how to spend your money, who to enroll, who not to enroll, who to retain, who not to retain. I get that it's hard. I wrote 1,500 words last week explaining how it's hard and why it's hard. But when I say it's hard to be the Memphis basketball coach right now, I mean it's hard to build a traditional Memphis basketball roster, to get talented players to want to play in this version of this conference and compete at a top 20, top 25 level consistently. That's what I mean. The Memphis job is harder now than it used to be. It should not be hard to win conference championships, not in this league. You're still the best job in this league by far. You still got the most resources in this league by far. You shouldn't be getting smacked around by Tulsa and Wichita State. That's something that's got to change. And if it doesn't, then a lot of other stuff has to change. Hopefully they can start winning and quiet down all these conversations, but we ain't seen much lately that would offer encouragement in that direction.
Number 2.
So if you're wondering why I'm in Spokane, Washington for the 5th consecutive day, it's because I was on the sideline this week in CBS Sports Network for San Francisco at Gonzaga. The Zags ranked in the top 10. So I got the email, hey, would you be willing to go from New York to Spokane, late January and be on that game? I always say yes, A, because I don't think it's smart to say no, but B, because I used to live in basketball arenas and now I live in television studios. So it's fun just to pop into an arena now. I don't do that very often. Somebody asked me Saturday, so where's your next game? And I thought, and here's the truth. I might not go to another game this season. I might not actually be at another game this season. It'd just be television sets over and over again. So I was like, yeah, I'd love to go to Spokane. And then it's just been a mess since I left New York City on Thursday. As you know, my luggage got lost. And I was just so beat down.
Oh,
exhausted.
dude, that will ruin everything.
I was just really beat down.
Yeah, man.
I've been on the road a lot. I almost felt like a hamster on a wheel sometimes. Like GP, talk about this. All right, you're done? All right, talk about this. All right, you're done? Okay, now talk about this. All right, you're done? Now talk about that. And you're just like, it's 4 a.m. I'm still talking about stuff. I got to get up in 4 hours and talk about some more stuff. And I was just so looking forward to, man, once I finish the GP show on Thursday, I am flying across the country. I'm shutting down, and then I'll land. I'll be recharged, ready to do the show tomorrow. Then got the rest of Friday off in Spokane. This is going to be nice. It's not even that my bag didn't make it here. My bag went to Atlanta. I didn't even go to Atlanta. I went from LaGuardia to Minneapolis to Spokane. My bag went to Atlanta. So I get here, and it's late in the Spokane airport, and There's nobody at Delta Baggage. There's nobody there. And I'm just like, my bag's not here. I've been standing here an hour. I'm tired. I just flew all the way across the country. And I see this one guy who looks like he's supposed to be the person you asked for help. And I walk over to him and I said, excuse me. I said, I've been waiting for a while. This is my baggage claim. My bag's not here. The Delta baggage people aren't here. I don't know what to do. What would you suggest? And he goes, I don't know. And I said, what do you tell people? Like you're the assistance guy. I said, when people say, hey, Mr. Assistance guy, I need assistance, I can't find my bag. What do you tell them to do under normal circumstances? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I can't really help you.
Damn.
And I was like, I said,
remind me to never go to the Spokane airport.
And I said, well, can you maybe call somebody over the intercom or something like, hey, a customer's about to have a mental breakdown at baggage claim. Somebody come talk to him. And he said, sir, we've already announced that. They'll either come or they won't, but there's nothing else I can do. And I looked right at him and I said, you are not being helpful.
Yeah, you should take that badge off.
And I just turned around, and I just turned around and I just walked away defeated, like totally defeated. And then I got an email very quickly that said, hey, your bag is not coming, so just go home. Go to your hotel. So then I start texting you, and it's late. And I appreciate you and Lang covering for me on Friday. Because, because here's the truth. Like, you took a very stressful thing and just made it not stressful. Suddenly it was like, all right, this sucks, and I want to do my job.
I woke up the next morning to all your texts, and I was like, and I felt so bad because I was asleep. Like, it was late here because you're 2 hours ahead or behind. And I just woke up the next morning. It was like, dude, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So it's like I woke up the next morning to do the show. Like, I set the alarm for 6 a.m. out here. You know, and I got up and I got up and I was like, Bennett, I can just do it on, my MacBook.
Something.
We'll just do the best we can. And you were like, we got it covered. And so once I saw that, I was like, I put my head, this is the way I spent Friday. I put my head in the pillow. So I woke up, saw that text, went back to sleep. Woke up, got something to eat, went back to sleep. I just was like, I am resting. This is all I'm doing today. So thank you. Thank Lang for covering for me. You made a stressful situation less stressful. I even went to the movie. How about that? I woke up and went to the movies on Friday.
What'd you see?
Hamnet. I went to see Hamnet.
Did you get a good cry in?
Well, I was like, this is not cheering me up.
I was going to say, you should have asked me before you went to see that if you were in a sad mood.
Yeah, I was kind of depressed. I'm on the road. It's a lot of time by yourself.
I'm sure that one scene with Hamnet that probably really hit different on that day.
It wasn't the right movie for me to see, that's for sure. But I enjoyed it to the extent that I was like, this is a great film.
It was great,
I understand. Yeah. I'm trying to knock out all the Best Picture nominees because I told you I would. And Hamnet, I don't know when it's going to stream. It's not streaming yet. So I was like, it was literally playing a 5-minute walk from my hotel in a mall, and I had to go buy clothes anyway. I had nothing. Yeah. So I was like, I'll go to the mall.
Man, a movie theater in a mall? That's amazing. Shout out to Spokane, Washington. That's pretty cool.
I love it here. It's really nice. I didn't want to be here 5 days, but I like being here. Yeah. It's a walkable little downtown and nice little bars and restaurants and stuff. And so and right in the middle of downtown, there's a mall with an AMC theater. So I went inside, got a little shopping done, and then went to the movies and saw Hamnet. And I was like, well, this is not going to cheer me up at all. But that's the point. I had a relaxing Friday, and I had a relaxing Friday in part because of you and Lane covering for me. So thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so we get to Saturday, and I'm at the game, and I just had a full circle moment. I told this story to Jess earlier, so I'll try to do the quicker version here. But it was just sort of neat. I shared it with Mark Few on the Mark Few show. How college basketball coaches have the Penny Hardaway show and the John Calipari show, like a weekly television show. I, after the game, went up to Mark's office and taped, 10, 15 minutes for the Mark Few show. So that'll air at some point up here, whatever. So I was able to tell him this story on his television show because I thought he would appreciate it. And hopefully it's a neat thing for Zags fans to hear as well. So it's November 1998. I'm a senior at the University of Memphis, sports editor of the Daily Helmsman. And the Tigers it's very early, like maybe first week of the season. And the Tigers got a game against this team. Who is this? It's a G. They start with a G. I guess they're from the state of Washington. Gonzaga. The they're the Gonzaga Bulldogs, but I think some people call them Zags. I don't know. What is this? At this point in time, Gonzaga basketball had only made one NCAA tournament appearance ever. One NCAA tournament appearance ever. And did not win a game. So at this point in time, it's November 1998. Gonzaga has never won a game in the NCAA tournament. All right. It's just, and yes, there's like a racial component to it. It's like a bunch of little white kids like coming into the pyramid to play the Tigers. I know how this is going to go. And they beat Memphis by 15. This dude named Richie Fromm got 37. And there's a million crazy ways to tell this story because we had no idea what we were watching then. You watch this little school with these little guys come in and bomb the Tigers in the pyramid. I think they won the game by 15. Richie Fromm goes for 37. It's like, is Memphis bad or is this team good? What? Or is both? Turns out both those things were true. This team was good. Memphis was bad. But imagine if somebody would have floated in from the future that day. And like I can even remember I'm sitting there with Zach McMillan from the Commercial Appeal. He's the beat writer. We're sitting courtside. And somebody would have just floated in that day and said, GP, Zach, Gonzaga. Yeah, got it. That's who Memphis is playing today. Yep. From the West Coast Conference. Right. Has never won a game in the NCAA tournament. Correct. All right. I got one for you. Check this out. They're going to make the NCAA tournament this year. They're going to win their first game in the NCAA tournament program history this season. Then they're going to win another one, then another one. They're going to go to the Elite Eight. And then guess what? What? They will never miss the NCAA tournament again. Right now, they've never won a game, but starting this March, they will make the tournament, win games, and they will never miss it again. They will make 26 straight NCAA tournament appearances. This little bitty school from the West Coast Conference. And they will advance deep enough in two of those brackets to appear in the national championship game. So as I'm sitting there on Saturday in one of the greatest college basketball venues we now have, and the place is jam-packed and the student section is awesome, and I'm looking up and it's like, there's a Final Four banner. There's a Final Four banner. That is unimaginable if you go back to November 1998 when me and Zach McMillan are sitting there watching the Zags. So that's the first time I ever put my eyes on the Zags in person. Had no idea what I was watching. Nobody had any idea where this thing was going. But imagine somebody sitting down and saying, this school from the West Coast Conference that has never won a game in the NCAA tournament is about to go to 26 straight NCAA tournaments, play in 2 national championship games, hang Final Four banners with a future Hall of Fame coach. Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. And Mark Few is the biggest reason any of that happened. He was an assistant coach on the team that came to Memphis in November 98. Dan Munson was the head coach. Munson got the Minnesota job after that season. They promote this young assistant named Mark Few, and the rest, as they say, is history. But I really did, like we said on his television show for 15 minutes, and mostly talked about connections between Memphis and Gonzaga because they had that series. And he still brings up all the time Adam Morrison coming into FedEx Forum. Like,
oh, man, I'll never forget it.
He remembers this. Because Adam had scored like 43 in a game in Maui. And he said, I knew it was a big deal when, this was a time. He said, we'd check into our hotel in downtown Memphis, and I'd buy the Commercial Appeal. He's like, I'd buy the newspaper. I want to read what's going on in Memphis. And he said, I remember opening the sports section of the Commercial Appeal newspaper in advance of our game, and it was like 43 reasons to come see Adam Morrison play against the Tigers. And it was like, wow. Like, we go a lot of places, but I ain't never seen anything like this. And he's like, we walk into the building, and it's on fire. And you can Google this, because I remember this, and Mark brings it up. But I can remember John Calipari telling his players, because at this point, Adam Morrison is like a phenom.
Yes.
He's got the long hair, the mustache. He's a rock star. And I remember Cal telling his players, don't talk to him. Don't say anything to him. He's gonna talk crazy. He's going to do some weird stuff. Leave him alone, because if you start popping off at him, it's going to get him going. Don't say anything to him. And he was kind of struggling for much of that game. And then there was a moment, you can Google Adam Morrison and Sean Williams. And they're like face-to-face yelling. Sean popped out. South Memphis came out and Sean. He popped off at Adam Morrison. You see Morrison right back in his face. And then Morrison got going a little bit. Just an all-time great regular season day.
It was.
Inside FedEx Forum. So Mark still talks about that. And then they've been to Memphis for the NCAA tournament. You know, they've played at FedEx Forum in the NCAA tournament as well. So just I didn't plan to be here 5 days. Hopefully I don't get a day 6. But it is cool to circle back to the first time I ever put my eyes on Gonzaga in person. I was a college student. And that was just a nothing program that had never done a thing and wasn't ever supposed to do a thing. And now it is quite literally one of the biggest and best basketball brands in the sport. Cool place to be. It should be a bucket list for any hardcore college basketball fans. Cameron Indoor, it's as great as they say. Allen Fieldhouse, just as awesome as they say. The Kennel belongs on any list of great college basketball venues. Cool to be here on Saturday night.
Number 3.
And what a wild Saturday it was in college basketball. Historic, unprecedented. 3 different freshmen scored 40-plus points. That had never happened in the history of college basketball since freshmen became eligible to participate in the early 70s. There had never been a day where 3 first-year players, 3 freshmen, all got at least 40 on the same day. It happened Saturday, though. Houston's Kingston Flemings, BYU's A.J. DeBonsa, and Illinois' Keaton Wagler. And these are all names that I guess we should probably be paying attention to. Because
I was just going to say.
Our season with the Grizzlies could pivot into,
this.
Man, what's the draft looking like?
Yeah.
And so I am happy to report that I'd much rather talk about playoff position and possible first-round matchups. But we might get to a point where we are more interested in talking about who are the best prospects in the 2026 NBA draft, who could possibly be the face of the franchise moving forward. If it's not Zach Edey or Cedric Coward or Jaren Jackson Jr. or anybody else also on the roster as currently constructed. And all 3 of these guys are going to be first-round picks. 2 of them could be top 5 picks. 1 of them could be the number 1 overall pick. And Saturday, they all delivered in a way that served as a reminder that there are people, myself included, who really do believe this is the greatest freshman class in college basketball history. And on Saturday, well, that was a good day to be the person saying that, because you had 3 do something on the same day that had never happened before. And then, like, Cameron Boozer isn't one of them, and he's the National Player of the Year favorite. He was awesome, too, just didn't quite get to 40. DeBonsa, if you want to see him, he'll be in prime time tonight. Number 1 undefeated Arizona at BYU, but he's incredible.
Yeah, man.
And then the craziest story of the 3 is the Keaton Wagler one. He was ranked 150th in his high school class. Like, he's just supposed to be a guy. Like, there are some power conference programs that don't even recruit players ranked 150th anymore in high school classes because they don't think they can help them in this era of the transfer portal and everybody getting older. And yet, here's an Illinois team that's ranked top 10 in the country, and their leading scorer is a freshman who was ranked 150th in the class of 2025, and he just scored 46 points on the road in a win at Purdue. Like, this is crazy. And I've got research people working on it because it's a hard thing to look up. I'm not sure this has ever happened. Like, this late in the season, a top 10 power conference team's leading scorer is a true freshman who was ranked 150th or worse in his high school class. No. If you're going to be a top 10 team with a freshman leading scorer, it needs to be somebody who is ranked number 1 in his high school class, number 4 in his high school class, maybe number 13 in his high school class, number 150 in his high school class. A player ranked 150th in his high school class probably shouldn't even be playing real rotation minutes for a top 10 team. Not in this era of the sport. So I don't know exactly how it happened, who missed what, but this young man was like from Kansas, didn't have a Kansas offer, didn't have a Kansas State offer. At the time when he committed to Illinois, he had basically nothing but mid-major offers. So this is a really out-of-nowhere season, and then he delivered an out-of-nowhere game. Incredible performances from 3 different freshmen on Saturday. Keep an eye on them because, depending on how the lottery shakes out, we could be picking one of them or 2 of them, come June.
Number 4.
So Tennessee beat Alabama and Charles Bediako, the former G Leaguer, and then decided to troll the Crimson Tide's former professional player on social media. I know you saw this, Bennett. Uh-oh. You're next, Blue Coats. Tennessee said if we can beat Alabama with a G League player, let's take on the Blue Coats. Let's see if the Memphis Hustle wants some. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Do you we used to always joke about those Nick Saban Alabama's teams could beat the New York Jets, which was always silly. But do you think like the best college basketball team could beat a G League team?
No.
Okay.
No. G League teams have like college All-Americans on them.
That's
Former
true.
College All-Americans on them.
That's
like
true.
Multiple. Like every once in a while, when I used to fly through Atlanta to get to New York, there was like a couple of seasons where the direct flights were either non-existent, Memphis to New York City, or they did not fit with my schedule at all. And so I had to fly through Atlanta. That was miserable. Like, I don't know why that was a miserable existence. But I was like, sometimes I'd connect in Atlanta and there would be a G League team on the flight with me. And I'd be like, oh, there's a guy who was first team All Big Ten last year. And then it would be like, oh, there's the Big East Player of the Year. And they're like just, sitting in 27B, coming to Memphis International to play the hustle. So I could it ever happen? Sure, perhaps. But I think G League teams would largely handle college teams.
Yeah, Jacob just told me that Bediako is still in the G League Up Next game voting that he voted for. Just crazy, man.
It is crazy. Like, I think even Nate Oates would tell you, no, I don't think this young man should be playing college basketball, but my job is to win college basketball games.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew we could get a judge that would rule in our favor, and so here we are. And I understand that. The other side of it is, if every coach out there thinks this is ridiculous, and I haven't heard one coach, like quite literally not one, say that they don't think this is ridiculous. Mark Few thinks it's ridiculous. Tom Izzo thinks it's ridiculous. John Calipari thinks it's ridiculous. Dan Hurley thinks it's ridiculous. They all think it's ridiculous. So if you all think you shouldn't be doing this, you know what you could do? Like, get on a conference call, Coaches Association, and just be like, hey, guys, for the first time ever, we're going to hold ourselves accountable. We know that we can fight this stuff in court, but for the betterment of the game, we all say we care about the sport. We all say we want this to be great. And we all also say we don't think this is right. So why don't we just all agree we're not going to do it? Could we put a player, a former G Leaguer, in front of a favorable judge in our home state and get injunctions to allow these people to play? Yeah, I guess we're doing it. But if we all think it's ridiculous, let's just stop. Let's just all, we can just not do this. That's what I would suggest. But they won't do it. You can't get all these men to get on the same page. Somebody's going to be like, man, I'm fighting for my life out here. I got to go just get the player and get them eligible. And so Scott Drew has done it. Nate Oates has done it. The situations are different, but similar in the sense that they're legitimately former professional players who are now playing college basketball. So Tennessee's social media team had fun with it, and I imagine they won't be the last to do it.
Yeah, nice win for the Vols. Good getting back to 500 in conference. That's good.
Okay, Bennett, I don't know if you're in position to be talking wild right now about other people's college basketball teams. I don't know if you're in position to be talking wild right now about other people's college basketball teams. But whatever, we'll take that up another day. The AP poll will update in, I don't know, hour and a half or so. Let's see if I can predict the top 5, because we will have a little bit of a shakeup in it. Arizona will be number 1 again. It will likely be a unanimous number 1 again. They'll get every first-place vote, and then they'll be in a real game tonight, or at least they should be. They're on the road at the Marriott Center against A.J. Debonsa and BYU. That will be the game of the night, probably the game of the week. But before it tips off, Arizona will be ranked number 1, again by AP voters, probably unanimously. At number 2, it should be UConn. 19-1 now. Still only 1 loss on the season. And the 1 loss, it was to Arizona. And it came when UConn was down 2 starters. So we have settled into a neat place in the AP poll. The number 1 team is an undefeated Arizona team. The number 2 team is going to be a UConn team that's only lost once to the team that is ranked number 1. Michigan's going to move back up to number 3. They're 18-1 now. Not number 1 at KenPom anymore. Arizona has moved to number 1 at KenPom, but still number 1 in other computers, still number 1 in the betting markets. Michigan 18-1 right now. They'll be 3rd in the AP poll. Duke is going to be at number 4. The Blue Devils are 18-1, lone loss to JT Toppin and that Texas Tech team. They're on a 7-game winning streak right now. They've got the National Player of the Year favorite, Cam Boozer. The Blue Devils should be number 4. And at number 5, it should be Nebraska. 20-0, still undefeated. They've got a big one on the road up next. If they get to 21-0 and remain undefeated through next Monday, they should steal some of those unanimous first-place votes from Arizona, because at some point, 21-0 with the resume they will have if they win their next one, because their next one's a road game at Michigan. Woo! Like, heavy underdog in that one. I doubt they'll win it, but if they do, you've got to start talking about them the way you talk about any other team at the top of these rankings. But that should be the top 5 when the AP poll updates. Arizona, UConn, Michigan, Duke, Nebraska. The top 5, the top 25-1, a little different than that. It's Arizona, 1, number 2, Nebraska, number 3, UConn, number 4, Duke, and number 5, Michigan. So same 5 teams, just in a different order. AP poll, Arizona, UConn, Michigan, Duke, Nebraska. That should be the order when we get it updated later on today. Be back with Carryout.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Jeff Dunham, Artificial Intelligence, his all-new tour.
You're the other whitey. How can you be so smart on one hand and so stupid on the other?
Well, you're half of it.
I realize I could have avoided all this years ago with one simple word. I do not. Silence!
Don't miss a Memphis. Friday, April 10th, FedEx Forum. Tickets on sale Monday, September 29th at jeffdunham.com.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis. Own the 2025-26 Grizzlies season with the 10-game Flex Pack, the ultimate way to catch all the action on your terms. Choose your favorite matchups from intense rivalries to weekend thrillers and customize your pack to fit your schedule. With 10 games to pick, you'll never miss the moments that matter most. Visit Grizzlies.com/packs today to build your perfect ticket pack and cheer on the Grizzlies your way. It's your team, your season, and your schedule. So don't miss out.
The only thing better than Saturday Night Hoops is when it comes with an exclusive Grizz hoodie. Every Saturday this season, $60 gets you a Grizzlies ticket and a limited edition Grizzlies hoodie. 4 different hoodie designs dropping across 4 Saturday games. Not sold anywhere else. Don't miss your shot to collect all 4 designs. Grab your tickets and gear up now at Grizzlies.com/Saturday.
Monday, we're giving you a chance to win free Sonic. Just hit the link pinned in the YouTube chat to enter for a Sonic gift card. Jump into the chat, hang with us, and maybe even eat free Sonic too. That's every Monday in the chat. An opportunity to win a Sonic gift card. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we miss today?
NFL headline. I was going to get to Michael Eaves on it. Didn't make it there, but the Steelers have found their next head coach, and he's somebody that was a candidate at one point to be the Titans' next head coach. It is Mike McCarthy. Steelers fans seem split on the idea of Mike McCarthy. What do you think of Mike McCarthy replacing Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh?
You know, I like him. I'm not as down on him as other people. He has won a Super Bowl. Obviously, had peak Aaron Rodgers there. Did some good things in Dallas. It didn't, end up working out in the end. But I think he's a good coach. I think that the only thing that I would say is, they were getting sick of going 8-8 every year or finishing, just above 500 and sneaking into the playoffs, maybe just missing it. I think it could be a lot more of that with Mike McCarthy. I think it could just be average, or above average. I don't know if it's going to be great.
Well, that's not encouraging, Bennett. That's not encouraging for my friends who are Steelers fans. We're not shooting for average. This is a proud franchise.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they got to get a quarterback in there. They're going to have to give him time with that, I think, unless they just go and get some, veteran that's out there like they've been doing. But I don't know.
Well, you know what? Let's wish him luck. Let's just wish him luck.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, he was a guy that I was totally fine with. If you would have told me he was going to be the Titans' next head coach, I would have said, okay. I think that's fine. I'm more excited about Robert Saleh when his name started surfacing after the Mike McCarthy stuff. I was like, I think I kind of want that guy, just because I think he brings a real identity to a team. So I'm good where we're at, but I like Mike McCarthy too. I think he'll do fine.
Oh, all right. Hey, you know what? Let's just wish him luck. I'm going to wish Mike McCarthy luck in Pittsburgh. Good luck to him.
What's today's biggest game?
I've referenced it a couple of times. Let's pick it. Marriott Center tonight, Provo, Utah. Oh, buddy, it's going to be a great one. Arizona at BYU. It is number 1 against number 13 as of this moment. But again, the AP poll will update. BYU is expected to move up. Tommy Lloyd's Wildcats are a 1.5-point favorite tonight on the road. The total is 165.5. The Marriott Center, I've been there once. It's a great college basketball environment.
Mm-hmm.
Big building, 15,000, 16,000. And what do you think the get-in price is tonight? I got one ticket. I'll sell it to you. It's the worst seat in the house, and this is what it cost.
You said it holds about 16,000?
Yep.
I'll say that it is $200.
It's $186.
Okay.
$186 is the cheapest ticket available tonight. Worst seat in the building. Still cost you $186. Undefeated Arizona, number 1 ranked Arizona on the road. 2 fabulous freshmen, really 3. A.J. DeBonsa on the BYU side. Arizona's got Koa Pete and Braden Burries, 2 5-star freshmen. Bennett, how you going to pick it?
You know what they say, GP, the undefeated teams, it's always good for them to take a loss at some point during the season, right? You want to take a loss before you get in the NCAA tournament. You don't want the pressure of being undefeated.
I don't. I disagree. I want the opportunity to go down in history as the first undefeated national champion since Indiana in 1976. So I do understand what you're saying. I have heard other people say it, but I have always pushed back on that. No, buddy, if it's January 26th and we're a real national title contender with a 0 in the loss column, I want to keep that 0 in the loss column as long as I can. Then if we lose, I'll flip it into a positive and say, hey, we needed that. Now we can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
But as long as I got it, I want to keep it.
They haven't played. Arizona hasn't played a lot of road games yet. The one that they was even really close was at UConn. I'll say I'm going to go Wildcats. I think I'm gonna go Arizona here. I think they are the real deal. So I'm gonna go Arizona.
Top-ranked Arizona on the road tonight. Bennett says take them. Tip is at 8 o'clock Central. You can watch it on ESPN.
What are we watching on TV?
Okay, so the other night, I don't remember which one. I've been in this hotel room way longer than I thought I was going to be. But I had some time. I just needed to catch up on things like expense reports and just like some busy stuff. And I'm not good at doing two things at once. Like, I know there are people out there who can write a column and watch a movie, or write a column and, listen to a podcast, or do expenses and watch a TV show. But I can't. I feel like I'm missing stuff nonstop. So I was looking for something like, I want to put this on, and it doesn't matter if I'm paying attention. It doesn't matter if I miss something, because I don't really care. I don't even want to watch this anyway. But I'll be able to follow it just because I know enough about it that I don't have to hear every word. And so I put on WWE Unreal Season 2.
Okay.
We talked about it last week. The 5 episodes dropped on Netflix, and it immediately shot into the top 10 television shows, all that. So I was like, this is perfect, because I followed WWE closely enough to where I know all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like episode 1 is on Becky Lynch and Pat McAfee. Well, I know Becky Lynch and I know Pat McAfee. So I'm really just going to get to know more about Becky Lynch and Pat McAfee. But I already have a surface level of who these people are. So if I'm not really paying attention, it's fine. So I dove into expense reports and turned on season 2 of WWE Unreal. And I watched the first 2 episodes. And like, if you watch wrestling at all, it's totally worth your time. You'll enjoy it. Interestingly, episode 2 of season 2 has a lot of Memphis in it because of Ron Killings and his.
Oh yeah,
like R-Truth. He has a Memphis background, and so they focus on that a lot. So if you like hearing the word Memphis and seeing things from Memphis, like that's all there in episode 2. So WWE Unreal season 2 dropped last week on Netflix. First 2 episodes, it was a fun watch. Best I could tell. You can stream it if you want to.
What's the best thing we've read?
Okay, one of the other things I've done since the last time I talked to you, because I don't think I've talked to you since last Thursday, I finished Jeff Pearlman's Tupac book. It was terrific. Like, I wish I could go back and read it again. Just incredible story. Absolutely incredible life story. I know Jeff isn't the traditional biographer you might think of when you think of Tupac Shakur, As he would say it. This isn't me saying it. He has said this. He's like, I'm an old Jewish guy, sports writer. Why am I writing a Tupac Shakur book? So he sort of like has to acknowledge the elephant in the room at the front. He's sort of like, I know what you're thinking. Why is the guy who most famously had a blow up with John Rocker, the baseball pitcher once upon a time, why is that guy writing about Tupac Shakur? How could you understand Tupac Shakur? Well, how? Because I'm going to go everywhere he's ever been. Because I'm going to talk to everybody he's ever known. He interviewed more than 600 people and spent time in literally every place Tupac ever lived. And it was just incredible. If you're not a reader, the audiobook is available on Spotify. And it's about 16 hours. But you would never get bored. You would never get bored. You don't have to be a hip-hop fan or a Tupac fan to appreciate it and enjoy it. If you are, it's even better. But I think you could hand this book to anybody and be like, this is a very important person of a generation whose impact is still felt today in a lot of different ways. And he was gone by the age of 25. Here's his life story, the good and the bad. I think you could hand that book to anybody and they would enjoy it. So if you're looking for something to lay down with, or even something to just listen to while you're on long drives or in airports or wherever, Jeff Pearlman's The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur book, 5 stars for me. I couldn't have enjoyed it more.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow will be Tuesday. We'll be looking back at Grizzlies Rockets, I believe.
I think so, yes.
Game's still on as of this moment. Tigers should be back from Wichita by the time we reconvene, so safe travels to them. I'll either be in New York City or Spokane, perhaps Minneapolis.
Good luck, man.
I could be anywhere between. Pull out your map, Bennett. Turn around. Look at your map.
Yeah.
Okay, point to New York City.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is that? Yeah.
Okay. Now
Where's
point with your
right here. Yeah.
Yeah, Bennett. Now take your left arm and point to Spokane, Washington.
Okay. Is that right here?
Okay. Yeah.
By Idaho,
I could be.
Right?
Yeah, it's way over. Yeah, right over there. I went to Idaho yesterday, so yeah, that's a pretty good spot. I could be anywhere in between there.
Okay.
I'm going to be anywhere in between those two places. I hope I'm in New York, but I could be anywhere in between those two places, including still right here. As always, we'll see.
Good luck, man.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what? I'm not even stressed. Like, whatever I've just decided this is not going to be the thing that
You're too
stresses me
blessed
out.
to be stressed.
I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Good.
I've decided this is not going to be the thing I'm going to get stressed out about. I'm going to go to the airport, and when they tell me to get on the plane, I'm going to get on it. And then I'm going to hopefully land in Minneapolis, and then hopefully I'm going to get on another plane shortly thereafter, and that one will go straight to JFK, and everything will go smoothly. That's
Good.
what I'm hopeful of. But if it doesn't go that smoothly, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but there's worse things going on in the world.
Yes, there is.
Woo, buddy. So, yeah, I'm probably too blessed to be stressed. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. Let's meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.